1920s celebrants. Let me introduce myself. My name is Beulah Matancy, grandmother and manager of the extremely talented Miss Fancy Matancy, the next great child star of stage, screen, and radio. Stand up, smile for him, honey. Isn't she gorgeous? Now, you all must hold on to your hats, because in a New York minute, you're going to be the participants of a bit of time travel. We are about to embark on a journey to a decade in the future, to the 1930s and the beginning of the golden age of radio. The first commercial radio program in the United States was broadcast on August 31st, 1920, from Detroit, Michigan. Its program content was election results. Not all radio stations could air news or election results all the time. Individual stations wanted to appeal to a wider audience and began creating lots of different programs and charging for advertising for various products to create revenue. The sponsored musical features soon became one of the most popular program formats. The Grand Ole Opry is a prime example. As technology improved, radios became smaller and cheaper, and they soon became the central piece of furniture in every American living room. Radio programs were a source of inspiration. They provided heroes like the Lone Ranger and the Shadow, which gave people a model to live by. Other than Broadway shows, live entertainment was slowly fading away. Vaudeville and burlesque performers looked to performing on radio as a means of employment. As the average radio performer had a salary of 32 cents per broadcast minute. Those performers wanting to hit the big time and who were not already established stars held second jobs. Radio performers came in all sizes, shapes, genders, and professions, like the cast we have performing for you today. First, like the aforementioned vaudeville burlesque performer waiting for his big break in radio. The next big child star waiting. And the ever-popular 1930s private detective, or gumshoe as they were called. And one of his cronies, a local banker, that is Loan Shark, and his bootlegger best friend. Owners of the speakeasies in town were forced to seek employment, and many of them worked in libraries. There were locally, classically trained artists seeking to supplement their income. Many performers throughout the United States fell into food service careers while waiting tables at everything from local diners to high-end food establishments. And finally, the faded former star of the Broadway and stage and screen, now reduced to hosting department store openings and performing an occasional radio gig. After the 1930s, the popularity of radio started to decline at the hands of more visual entertainment. But the influence of the golden age of radio on the American way of life will never be forgotten. And before I close, I would like to give you one tip to the people of the 1920s. Get all your money out of the bank before 1929. Thank you.
Okay, folks, network job, you all know you got your parts, you know what you're going to do. All right, ready, you step up, you do what you need to. I'm going to warm up the crowd. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Drake Hotel in the WGN studios. Where are you guys from? Where's everybody from? Effingham. I got some relatives. They live out around Wright's Corner, so I kind of know where you're at. Okay, tonight you're going to have just a blast. It's going to be a radio mystery drama, and it's going to be like you've never heard it before because you're here. You're going to hear it with our amplification system instead of the radio. But you guys have probably never heard WGN. We only get down to about Springfield. You might have heard WLS. Those guys go all the way to the end of the state. But anyway, tonight you're going to hear it as it should be heard. No clicks, no pops, no nothing. It's going to be fantastic. And you guys got phones? Phones? Well, I know if you got phones like my in-laws do down around Wright's Corner, you probably still have the party line. You know, get the operator and say, hey, get me Mildred, and then you hear 5 other people pick up when you talk to Mildred. Well, our play is set in New York, and they've got some really fancy telephones. They can pick up and get an operator, and now they're using this thing called a dial telephone. Huh, can you believe it? If I know somebody's number, I can dial it, and it rings right to their house. No operator. What are they going to come up with next? But there are some people that still want to use the operator, and that's going to play a big part in our play tonight. So sit back, relax, use your ears, and you get to use your eyes as we present our drama. All right, everybody, we're coming in after the news. I'll give you the countdown. We'll see where we're at. Say about 2 minutes. Going to commercials. I think they skipped a spot. We might be going here pretty soon. Get ready, everybody. Here we go. 5, 4, 3. Suspense. This is the Man in Black, here to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. Tonight, as we premiere our new Saturday evening series on the air, Miss Josephine Thompson, veteran of the silent screen, returns to our stage to appear in The Study in Terror by Lucille Fletcher called Sorry, Wrong Number. This story of a woman who accidentally overheard a conversation with death and who strove frantically to prevent murder from claiming an innocent victim, is being repeated by popular request as tonight's tale of suspense. If you've been with us before, you will know that suspense is composed of mystery and suspicion and dangerous adventure. In this series are tales calculated to intrigue you, to stir your nerves, to offer you a precarious situation, and then withhold the solution until the last possible moment. And so it is with our story, Sorry, Wrong Number. And the performance of Miss Josephine Thompson, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Murray Hill 70093 for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy. I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
I will be glad to try that number for you. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all this time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm all alone here in the house. My health is very poor, and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 70093.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, is Mr. Stevenson there?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? George?
Yeah, this is George.
Hello, who's this? What number am I calling, please?
I'm here with our client.
Good. Is everything okay? Is the coast clear for tonight?
Yeah, George. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Okay.
Where are you now?
I'm in a phone booth. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
Very well. You know the address?
Yeah, I know. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer.
That's right. At 11 o'clock?
Yeah. I'll make sure the lights downstairs are out.
There should only be one light, visible from the street.
Yeah, I know. At 11:15, a train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window's open, and she should scream.
Oh, hello? What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand, I tell ya. That's 11:15, the train.
Yeah. You remember everything else, George?
Yeah. I make it quick, as little blood as possible. Because our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
That's right. You'll use a knife?
Yeah, a knife will be okay. And afterwards, I take the rings and the bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Because our client wishes it to look like simple robbery. Don't worry. Everything's okay. I never make...
Oh, how awful! How unspeakably awful! Operator.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry. What number were you calling?
Why, it was supposed to be Murray Hill 70093, but it wasn't. Some wires must have crossed. I was cut into a wrong number, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing. Something about a murder. And, operator, you simply have to retrace that call at once.
I beg your pardon. May I help you?
Oh, I know it was a wrong number, and I had no business listening, but these two men, they were cold-blooded fiends, and they were going to murder somebody, some poor, innocent woman who was all alone in a house near a bridge, and we've got to stop them. We've got to.
What number were you calling, please?
Well, that doesn't matter. This was a wrong number, and you dialed it for me, and we've got to find out what it was immediately.
What number did you call?
Oh, why are you so stupid? What time is it? Do you mean to tell me you can't find out what that number was just now?
I'll connect you with the chief operator.
Oh, I think it's perfectly shameful. Now look. It was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to try Murray Hill 70093 for me. You dialed up, but your finger must have slipped, and I was connected with some other number, and I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I simply fail to see why you couldn't make the same mistake again on purpose. Why you couldn't try to dial Murray Hill 70093 in the same sort of careless way.
Murray Hill 70093?
Yes.
I'll try to get it for you.
Well, thank you.
I'm sorry. Murray Hill 70093 is busy. I'll call you in about 20 minutes and I'll...
Operator!
Your call, please.
You didn't try to get that wrong number at all. I asked you explicitly, and all you did was dial correctly.
I'm sorry. What number were you calling?
Well, can't you for once forget what number I'm calling and do something for me? Now, I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty, and it's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers. And if you won't...
I will connect you with the chief operator.
Please. Oh, dear.
This is the chief operator.
Oh, chief operator, I want you to trace a telephone call immediately. I don't know where it came from or who is making it, but it's absolutely necessary that it be tracked down because it was about a murder that someone's planning. A terrible, cold-blooded murder of a poor, innocent woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Well, can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
I'm not certain. It depends.
Depends on what?
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's live call, well, we can trace it on the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected?
If the parties have stopped talking to each other.
Oh, but of course they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
Well, I can try it. Tracing it. May I have your name, please?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Elbert Stevenson. But listen.
And your telephone number, please.
Plaza 42295. But if you go on wasting all this time...
Why do you want to trace this call, please?
What? Well, no reason. I mean, I merely felt very strongly that something ought to be done about it. These men sounded like killers. They're dangerous. They're going to murder this woman at 11:15 tonight, and I thought the police ought to know.
Have you reported this to the police?
Well, no, not yet.
You want this checked purely as a private individual?
Yes, but meanwhile...
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Stevenson, but I'm afraid we couldn't make this check for you and trace a call just on your say-so as a private individual. We have to have something more official.
Oh, for heaven's sake. You mean to tell me I can't report that there's going to be a murder without getting tied up in all this red tape? Why, it's perfectly idiotic. Well, all right. I'll call the police.
Thank you. I am sure that would be the best thing to do to...
Ridiculous. Perfectly ridiculous. The thought of it. I can't see why I have to go to all this trouble. Oh.
Your call, please.
The police department. Get me the police department, please.
Thank you.
Oh, dear, do you have to dial? Can't you ring them direct? Oh, what's taking so long?
Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Precinct 43, Sergeant Martin speaking.
Police department? This is Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Elbert Smythe Stevenson of 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling up to report a murder. The murder hasn't been committed yet, but I just overheard plans for it over the telephone, over a wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is so stupid. And I guess in the end, you're the only people who can do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans distinctly. 2 men were talking, and they were going to murder some woman at 11:15 tonight. She lived in a house near a bridge. Are you listening to me?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to go around for a beer on 2nd Avenue. And there's some third man, a client who is paying to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well, and I feel so nervous.
I see. And when was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Then you can do something? You do understand?
What is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Elbert Stevenson.
And your address?
53 North Sutton Place. 53 North Sutton Place. That's near a bridge. The Queensboro Bridge, you know, and we have a private patrolman on our street and 2nd Avenue.
And what was that number you were calling?
Murray Hill 70093, but that wasn't the number I overheard. Murray Hill 70093 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, you know, and it's the maid's night off, and I hate to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the call if the parties have stopped talking. I've already taken care of that.
Oh, you have?
Yes. And personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good does checking the call do if they've stopped talking? By the time you track it down, they'll already have committed the murder.
Well, we'll take care of it. Don't you worry.
Well, I'd say the whole thing calls for a search, a complete and thorough search of the whole city. Now, I'm very near the bridge, and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue, and I know I'd feel a whole lot better if you sent around a radio car to this neighborhood at once.
Oh, yeah? And what makes you think the murder is going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Well, I don't know. Only the coincidence is so horrible. 2nd Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
2nd Avenue happens to be a very long street, ma'am. And you know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone?
Yes, I know.
Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx.
I know that.
How do you know there isn't some little house on Staten Island, on some little 2nd Avenue you've never heard of? How do you know they're even talking about New York at all?
But I heard the call on the New York dialing system.
Maybe it was a long-distance call you overheard.
Oh, don't.
Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you look at it this way? Supposing you hadn't broken in on that telephone call. Supposing you'd gotten your husband the way you always do. You wouldn't be so upset, would you?
Well, no, I suppose not. Only it sounded so inhuman, so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders are plotted in this city every day. Ma'am, we managed to catch almost all of them.
But
But a clue of this kind is so vague. It isn't much more use to us than no clue at all.
surely you...
Unless, of course, you have some reason for thinking this call was this call was phony, and that someone may be planning on murdering you.
Me? Oh, no. No, I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm alone all day and night. I see nobody except my maid Eloise, and she's a big girl. She weighs 200 pounds. She's too lazy to bring up my breakfast tray, and the only other person is my husband, Albert. He's crazy about me. He just adores me. He waits on me hand and foot. He scarcely left my side since I took sick. Well, 12 years ago.
Well then, there's nothing for you to worry about. Now, if you'll just leave the rest of this to us, we'll take care of it.
But what will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 now.
We'll take care of it, lady.
Will you broadcast it all over the city and send out squads and warn your radio cars to watch out, especially in suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Lady, I said we'd take care of it. Just now, I've got a couple of other matters here on my desk that require immediate attention. Good night, ma'am, and thank you.
Oh, you idiot. Oh, now, why did I hang up the phone like that? He'll think I am a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he come home? Oh, Albert.
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring that Murray Hill 70093 number again? I can't think what's keeping him so long.
I will try it for you.
Well, try. I don't see why he doesn't answer it.
I'm sorry, Murray Hill 70093 is busy. I
can hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. Oh, if I could only get out of this bed for a little while. If I could get a breath of fresh air. Just lean out the window and see the street. Hello, Albert? Hello? 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 Oh, what's the matter with this phone? Hello? 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 Oh, for heaven's sake, who is this? Hello, hello, hello? Oh, who's trying to call me? Oh, why doesn't she answer?
Your call, please.
Hello, operator. I don't know what's the matter with this telephone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I've never seen such inefficient, miserable service. Now look, I'm an invalid, and I'm very nervous, and I'm not supposed to be annoyed, but if this keeps on much longer...
What seems to be the problem, please?
Well, everything's wrong. I haven't had one bit of satisfaction out of one call I made this evening. The whole world could be murdered for all you people care. And now my phone keeps ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds, and when I pick it up, there's no one there.
I'm sorry. If you will hang up, I will test it for you.
I don't want you to test it for me. I want you to put that call through, whatever it is, at once.
I'm afraid I cannot do that.
You can't? And why? Why, may I ask?
The dial system is automatic. If someone is trying to dial your number, there is no way to check if the call is coming through the system or not. Unless the person who's trying to reach you complains to his particular operator.
Well, all the stupid... And meanwhile, I've got to sit here in my bed, suffering every time that phone rings, imagining everything.
I will try to check the trouble for you.
Check it. That's all anybody can do. Oh, what's the use of talking to you? You're so stupid. Oh, I'll fix her. Of all the impudent. How dare she speak to me like that? How dare she? Call the operator. Oh, why does it take so long?
Your call, please.
Young woman, I don't know your name, but there are ways of finding you out, and I'm going to report you to your superiors for the most unpardonable rudeness and insolence that's ever been my privilege. Give me the business office at once.
You may dial that number direct.
Dial it direct? I'll do no such thing. I don't even know the number.
The number is in the directory, or you may secure it by dialing information.
Listen here, you... Oh, what's the use? Oh, dear. Oh, for heaven's sakes, I'm going out of my mind, out of my... Hello? Hello? Stop ringing me, do you hear? Answer me. Who is this? Do you realize you're driving me crazy? Who's calling me? What are you doing it for? Now stop it. Hello. If you don't stop ringing me, I'm going to call the police. Do you hear? The police. Oh, if Albert would only come home. Oh, let it ring, let it go on ringing. It's a trick of some kind. I won't answer it. I won't, even if it goes on ringing all night. Oh, you ring. Go ahead and ring. Stopped. Now what's the matter? Why did they stop ringing all of a sudden? Oh, what time is it? Where did I put that clock? Oh, here it is. 5 to 11. Oh, they've decided something. They're sure I'm home. They heard my voice answer them just now. That's why they've been ringing me. Why no one has answered me. I'll call the operator again. Oh, where is she? Why doesn't she answer?
Your call, please.
Where were you just now? Why didn't you answer me at once? Give me the police department.
I'm sorry, but that line is busy. I will call
Busy?
you.
But that's impossible. The police department can't be busy. There must be other lines available.
The line is busy. I will try to get them for you later.
No, I've got to speak to them now, or it may be too late. I've got to talk to someone.
What number do you wish to speak to?
I don't know, but there must be someone to protect people besides the police department. A detective agency.
You will find agencies listed in the classified directory.
But I don't have a classified. I mean, I'm too nervous to look it up, and I don't know how to use the...
I'll connect you with information. Perhaps she will be able to help you.
No. Oh, you're being spiteful, aren't you? You don't care, do you, what happens to me? I could die and you wouldn't care. Oh, stop it. I can't stand anymore. Hello, what do you want? Stop ringing, will you? Stop it.
Hello? Is this Plaza 4-2295?
Yes, I'm sorry. This is Plaza 42295.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mrs. Albert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I'm Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is as follows. Mrs. Albert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, New York. Darling, stop. Terribly sorry, stop. Tried to get you for last hour, but line busy. Stop. Leaving for Boston, 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Stop. Back tomorrow afternoon. Stop. Keep happy. Stop. Love. Stop. Signed, Albert. Stop.
Oh, no.
Do you wish us to deliver a copy of the message?
No, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. Oh, no, I don't believe it. He couldn't do it. Not when he knows I'll be all alone. It's some trick, some fiendish trick. Some trick. Oh, why doesn't he? Why?
Your call, please.
Operator, try that Murray Hill 00793 number for me. Just once more, please.
You may dial that number direct.
Oh. Murray Hill 70093. Oh, he's gone. Oh, Albert, how could you? I can't be alone tonight. I can't. If I'm alone one more second, I'll go mad. I don't care what he says or what the expense is. I'm a sick woman. I'm entitled.
Information, may I help you?
I want the telephone number of Henchley Hospital.
Henchley Hospital? Do you have a street address?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s. It's a very small private and exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Henchley, H-E-N-C...
One moment, please.
Please hurry, and please, what is the time?
You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 71212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, I've no time to be dialing.
The number of Henchley Hospital is Butterfield 70105.
Butterfield 70105.
Henchley Hospital, good evening.
Nurses Registry.
Who was it you wished to speak to, please?
I want the Nurses Registry at once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of the case, madam?
Nerves. I'm very nervous. I need soothing, companionship. You see, my husband is away, and I've...
Have you been recommended to us by any doctor in particular, madam?
No, but I really don't see why all this catechizing is necessary. I just want a trained nurse. I was a patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after all, I do expect to pay this person for attending me.
We quite understand that, madam. But these are hard times, you know.
Well...
Registered nurses are very scarce just now, and our superintendent has asked us to send people out only in cases where the physician in charge feels that it is absolutely necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm a sick woman. I'm very upset. Very. I'm alone in this house, and I'm an invalid. And tonight I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully. In fact, if someone doesn't come at once, I'm afraid I'll go out of my mind.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Miss Phillips as soon as she comes in. And what was your name, madam?
Miss Phillips? And when do you expect her in?
Well, I really couldn't say. She went out to supper at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? But it's not 11 yet. Oh, my clock has stopped. I thought it was running down. What time is it?
Just 15 minutes past 11.
What was that?
What was what, madam?
That click just now in my own telephone, as though someone had lifted the receiver off the hook of the extension telephone downstairs.
Well, I didn't hear it, madam. Now about this.
But I did. There's someone in this house, someone downstairs in the kitchen, and they're listening to me now. I won't pick it up. I won't let them hear me. I'll be quiet, and they'll think, oh, but if I don't call someone now while they're still down there, there'll be no time.
Your call, please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble.
I'm sorry. I cannot hear you. Please speak louder.
I don't dare. There's someone listening. Can't you hear me?
I'm sorry.
But you've got to hear me. Oh, please, you've got to help me. There's someone in this house, someone who's going to murder me, and you've got to get in touch with... Oh, there it is. There it is. Did you hear it? He's put it down. He's put down the extension phone. He's coming up. He's coming up the stairs. Give me the police department. The police department. Police department. Give it to me.
One moment, please. I will connect you.
I can hear him. He's nearer. Oh, I hear him. I hear him. Hurry. Hurry. Hurry.
Police Department, Sergeant Martin speaking. Police Department, Sergeant Martin speaking. Police Department, Sergeant Martin speaking.
Police department? Oh, I'm sorry. I must have got the wrong number. Yeah, that's it. I got the wrong number. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
And so closes Sorry, Wrong Number, starring Miss Josephine Thompson, tonight's tale of suspense. This is your narrator, the man in black, who conveys to you Columbia's invitation to spend this half hour in suspense with us again next Saturday. And we'll have another starring Hollywood cast headed by Miss Dolores Costello with Martin Kolslick, Ian Wolfe, and George Zucco. The producer of these broadcasts is William Spear, who, with Ted Bliss, the director, Lud Glutskin, the musical director, and Lucille Fletcher, the author, collaborated on tonight's Suspense.
Thank you for listening. And don't forget to tune into the adventures of Little Orphan Annie at its regular scheduled time, and to end each day with relaxing vitamin-rich, caffeine-free Ovaltine. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, wishing you pleasant dreams. Mwah.
Okay, folks, we're out. Make sure that you put in your paychecks on the way out. See you next week.
Where do I get my 96 cents?
You're always begging, all the time, begging.
I don't know. You probably have to work the corner pretty long for 96 cents.
Oh, come on, Nancy. Come on.
I wasted my whole evening. I could have been making a lot more money.